Let's call a spade and not a big spoon. The Building Bridges Initiative process is a political process which is supposed to achieve specific political objectives. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga initiated the Building Bridges Initiative process to help them achieve specific political objectives. And because it's a political process, the Deputy President Wiliam Ruto also understood that the two gentlemen wanted to achieve specific political objectives. And when the report was finally launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga at the Bomas of Kenya, the Deputy President was given an opportunity to speak. And he used that opportunity well. The Deputy President poked holes into that particular document. He read the mood of Kenyans and highlighted some of the issues which Kenyans had issues with. So he carried the day on that particular day. And because of that, President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga didn't take it lightly. And therefore, they convened a meeting for members of parliament. And today, the president and his brother Raila Odinga will be chairing a meeting with members of parliament in Naivasha. The majority leader at the National Assembly, Amos Kimunya, and the minority leader at the National Assembly, John Mbadi, were tasked with identifying at least 200 members of parliament to attend that meeting. And at the Senate majority leader, Samuel Pogisho, and the Senate minority leader, James Orengo, were also tasked with identifying specific senators to attend the meeting. So the meeting is currently underway. And I am sure the outcome of that meeting will be geared towards achieving the objectives which the Building Bridges Initiative report was initially intended to achieve. The event at Bomas of Kenya was actually an anticlimax for Raila Odinga and for President Uhuru Kenyatta. And just like I have maintained on this platform, that probably we could be having a third report, the Building Bridges Initiative Report 3. And for those who follow the politics very closely, after the Bomas tour, the Deputy President and his allies have maintained that we must have a consensus over the report. And the question is, why should they demand for a consensus when we all know that when they were given the chance to participate in the process, they never participated. They tried to kill the process. In fact, from the onset, the Deputy President and his allies never participated in the Building Bridges Initiative report process. And when they convened a meeting in Naivasha, their resolution was very simple, that they were not going to support that report. But now let me focus on the meeting in Naivasha. Why was this meeting convened in the first place? And what are some of the political objectives which the meeting is intended to achieve? I want us to look at this particular meeting in Naivasha and why probably it was convened. But before we do that, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now back to the main issue. I strongly believe that the first objective of this meeting is basically to rally support and also to build consensus amongst members of parliament and senators. This process is not going to be easy. The Deputy President is being locked out. And because he's being locked out, and because of the issues he raised at the Bomas of Kenya, Kenyans are with him. So I'm sure these guys are meeting at the Bomas of Kenya to agree and build consensus. Take, for example, the senators. The senators are not very happy with some of the recommendations of the Building Bridges Initiative report. Some of those recommendations would mean that the Senate will now be second house instead of being a upper house. So that's why probably I believe the president and Raila Odinga invited these senators to Naivasha so that they can sort out some of these particular issues. I am sure for that support to be built and for a consensus to be reached, they are going to listen, take all the concerns which were raised by the deputy president, which were raised by any other body, civil society, and try to bring them together. And that's why I keep on saying that probably we are going to have a second or a third building bridges initiative report. That one we have to wait. We'll have to wait until the bill will be published. So that's number one. Number two, I think the president and his brother Raila Odinga were shocked at the kind of the reaction of the deputy president Wiliam Ruto at the Bomas of Kenya. So they want to stop the deputy president from hijacking this process. This process started almost 2 years ago. It took President Uhuru Kenyatta 4 months, for those who don't know, before releasing this report. He wanted to bring his deputy on board. But from all indications, the deputy president was not willing to play balls. But after the Bomas of Kenya, the deputy president is very strategic. He's been trying to hijack this process. And this is why these guys are not going to allow. So they are locking him out. So the best way to lock the deputy president out is to invite members of parliament and senators who are allied to the president and and Raila Odinga, and then invite the deputy president to Naivasha. Of course, he will not attend, or he might attend. But the fact that his allies will be locked out means even if a consensus was going to be reached, or if a committee was going to be formed, his team will not be there. So he can't claim credit. Let me tell you how the deputy president had strategically started hijacking this process. After the Bomas of Kenya, he invited elders from across the country. And these elders visited him in Karen. These elders, first of all, chaired by the Uhuru Kenyatta's uncle, dismissed the elders who went to Bondo. So that was the first thing. Then they went to the deputy president, and after that meeting, they started talking of consensus. So that was the first signal that this guy was trying to hijack the process. So the elders started talking about building bridges initiative process and a consensus. Then these elders then went to Musalia Mudavadi, and again there they talked of consensus. Musalia Mudavadi has been talking about consensus. So I'm sure the president and Raila Odinga would go for a consensus, but not under the terms of Musalia Mudavadi and the deputy president. So basically, they are trying to hijack it. They are trying to stop the deputy president from hijacking it. Now, the second person was Kipchumba Murkomen. Kipchumba Murkomen then convened another meeting with the group of senators they were terming Group Kenya. And those senators, the number which turned out for that meeting were not many. So basically, what Kipchumba Murkomen was also trying to do, he wanted to mobilize a group of senators to spearhead this consensus building process. And this is what these guys are not going to allow. So they are not going to allow the deputy president to hijack this process. Number three, I think at this meeting, these guys are going to come up with a campaign strategy for the Building Bridges Initiative report. The Building Bridges Initiative report or process, the next stage should be the collection of signatures. But first of all, and I'm going to look at it next, is that they're going to identify the issues. Which ones are going to go for the referendum, which ones are going to go for legislative, and which issues are going to be administrative. But they must collect 1 million signatures. How are they going to collect these 1 million signatures? I'm sure they're going to come up with a team which is going to spearhead that process and basically to lead the campaigns. And I want you to observe what's happening in Nairobi. Already in Nairobi, Minor Commander has come up or has crafted a team. And yesterday, while they were in Westlands, they kind of unveiled that team. And it was not the first time that team was being unveiled. Minor Commander paraded Babu Owino and Njagwa as the people who are going to be tasked with helping mobilize the youths of Nairobi. And if you go further to that Nairobi, you'll realize that they are trying to lock out the deputy president from all those constituencies in Nairobi. So that today, we have Minor Commander as the chairman. That's how Babu Owino was referring to him. Then you go to Embakasi East, there is Babu Owino. Then you go to Embakasi West, they have the Santu Mwenje as the acting MP because the member of parliament there is with Ruto. So basically, if you look at Nairobi, almost all members of parliament are now with this team, save for 3. That's Embakasi West, I think Embakasi Central, and KJ. And even KJ of late is trying to make a comeback to this other team. So I'm sure strategically, these guys are now busy crafting a team. So they're going to extend now from Nairobi, they're going to craft a team for Mombasa, for Rift Valley, they're going to craft a team for Western, Central, something like that. So I'm sure at the end of this meeting, we are going to be unveiled, they are going to unveil a team which is going to lead the campaigns for the Building Bridges Initiative report. Number 4, which I think is the main reason why these guys are in Naivasha, is that they want to identify the issues. Which issues are going to go for the referendum? And which issues are going to go to parliament? Which issues are going to be administrative? So, in my view, these guys are going to sit down in Naivasha, identify all the issues. And remember, Raila Odinga has maintained that the referendum is not going to cost more than 2 billion Kenya shillings. IBC is maintaining that they need at least 14 billion. So basically what they are going to do, in my view, they are trying to identify the issues, the constitutional issues, which must go to the referendum. So these ones are going to be packaged. And probably we might not even have the referendum before the elections. That referendum might actually happen after or during the elections, once they've identified. Because I told you, this process is basically a political process. So if going to the referendum is not going to serve their political objectives, then they are not going to go to the referendum. So there are certain issues which most Kenyans believe must go to the referendum. So they are going to identify them. And if they realize that there's a way they can use parliament without having to go to the referendum, then they'll go through that way. Then there are also those issues, administrative, where the president can actually just start tomorrow to effect them. And then the ones which parliament can change, they can flex their muscles in parliament. So I think in all fairness, this particular meeting is about identifying those 3 issues. And if it were to go to parliament, how are they going to win? And lastly, it's about the collection of signatures. Because from the report, a bill is going to be prepared, and then they'll require like 1 million signatures. Those 1 million signatures will now pave way for a referendum, if a referendum will happen. And even before that, they'll also have to go through the county assemblies. And county assemblies will also have to approve the bills. And Raila Odinga stated that they'll need to escalate this process to move so fast. So in my view, those are some of the issues. How are they going to collect the signatures, the 1 million signatures, within the shortest time possible? And after collecting those 1 million signatures, how are they going to go to the counties and convince the counties to pass the bills once it's published? And then from there, it's the referendum. But ultimately, the president and Raila Odinga are keen on locking out the Deputy President Wiliam Ruto from this Building Bridges Initiative report. If that were not the case, then I am sure even his allies would have been invited to Naivasha. Unless you have a different opinion to that, let me know in the comment section. And if you're watching this video for the first time, please, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button, because what we do on this channel is very simple. We analyze politics. We analyze politics in a way you can't get any other place. So just take a second or two and click subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And it doesn't cost you anything. Just click that subscribe button now. And again, I want to thank my subscribers. I want to thank you so much, guys. Those who are always in touch with me. I received a call from Mutua. He told me he's from Machakos, but based in Nairobi. He just wanted to say good morning. You know, it makes me happy, man. And there are so many people who send me gifts for the birthday. Some are even still on the way. I want to appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, guys, and please may you enjoy your day.